Here at Lincoln Financial Field. Terrific night for football with the Carolina Panthers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Alongside Brian Baldinger, Scott Graham. Take it down on the field now to our third man and our sideline reporter, Dave Spadaro. Dave?
Well, thank you very much, Scott. You mentioned that LeSean McCoy gets the start tonight, and talking to some coaches before the game, they want to give LeSean the ball early, see what kind of condition he's in, establish the run game. They really didn't do that last week, so number 25 will get his touches early and then likely get on out of the game. So good to see him in the lineup for an offense that put up more than 450 yards without him last week.
Now, we have talked about what he is going to mean to this offense, what kind of a year he might have running in this system. And we're going to get our first look at what that can be this evening. He certainly is walking around like a guy who's very excited to be here.
Well, I think he's excited. The offense is made for him. He's going to catch a lot of passes. And tonight, we may see him in the slot as a receiver position. Two backs. They're going to get the ball to him in a variety of ways. Get on the bike here tonight. Get a little warmed up on a humidity-free evening. And so expect a lot from McCoy this year.
Humidity-free and honestly perfect to be able to figure out a way to play football this evening. It's 76 degrees, 36% humidity. Wind is not a factor. Clear night. You were talking about how beautiful a night it is for a football player, and this is certainly it in the month of August in Philadelphia. Chip Kelly, after one game under his belt and another week of work, he is definitively a guy who has, it seems, boundless energy and a thirst for the game. There's a very familiar face on the other side, Ron Rivera. 13-19 as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
And a former linebacker coach under the late, great Jim Johnson. He learned a lot from Jim Johnson here in Philadelphia. In fact, a big part of their defense is from that.
Carolina will get the ball first. Alex Henry, who had 26 touchbacks last year on 67 kickoffs, kicking it away. Kealoha Polaris is back for Carolina, along with Armand Smith. And we are ready to go. There is Smith, one of the two deep backs, and underway. It's Smith who will receive and stay right where he is, 9 yards deep in the end zone. Carolina will begin at their own 20-yard line. Take a look at the Eagles starters on the defensive side, presented by AAA. AAA has Eagles fans covered, whether it's travel planning, discounts, or roadside assistance. AAA is there for you. Visit AAA.com/Eagles.
Well, it's going to be the same starting defense from a week ago, including that man, Kerry Williams, making his debut for the Eagles, a big free agent signing from the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. Much is expected as a player and from the leadership perspective.
Carolina Panthers team that is known for running the football and known for their quarterback, Cam Newton. Sending Steve Smith, the longtime NFL veteran, in motion on first down. And Newton looking to throw. Got him. That is LaFell with the catch on the near side and a first down out to the 36-yard line.
Went right after Kerry Williams on the first play of the game. He got tested immediately off the play action. And Kerry gave him a big cushion, and LaFell came right underneath him. Carolina's kind of changed their offensive approach under Mike Shula, the new offensive coordinator. They're an I formation team. You'll see Cam Newton under center. Last year, or the first 2 years with Cam, it was a shotgun offense.
That's LaFell in motion. And now you've got a flag and a procedure call coming against Carolina.
Full start. Offense. Number 84. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And Scott, for Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator, we spent time talking to him this week. He wasn't happy with anything about the defense last week, but he thought, okay, first game, a lot of jitters, some mistakes, some guys trying to play their own defense and not the defense called. I think you're going to see guys tuned in here tonight.
And we'll talk tonight about what an adjustment it is to go from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Quick drop, and now Newton running out of the pocket and fires it, throws it away. Cedric Thornton, big time pressure on Cam Newton, chased him right on out of the pocket.
Well, take a look at the coverage. Here's Kerry Williams working on Steve Smith. They double team him with Trent Cole underneath, so they take Steve Smith out of the way. And the pressure by Cedric Thornton, as you mentioned, chased Cam Newton. He was forced to throw that ball away.
Let's check in with Dave Spadaro.
What Brian just said, Bill Davis, for the first time between games, practiced what he would use in this game. Let's see if it helps this Eagles defense.
Out of the shotgun on second down. And that is wide open. Ted Ginn Jr., most recently of the San Francisco 49ers, with first down yardage into Eagle territory at the 46.
Now that's just a breakdown between Bradley Fletcher right here and the safety right there. I mean, Fletcher is going to the deep post right there on the play, and nobody covered the flat. So there's a breakdown in coverage on that play.
So from the 46, Williams, a workhorse back, has yet to see a whole lot and still hasn't had a carry. They set him up for the screen. And staying at home and making the play was Patrick Chung after a pickup of about 3.
Well, there's the screen set up right now. And really, they did a good job of just getting over here to the ball and seeing it and getting a lot of bodies there. You get 3 white shirts there. Patrick Chung, the first contact, reads it, beats the out front blockers on the play. So they sniffed it out well, and they got a lot of white shirts to the ball.
Is it me or with the team huddling every time? Does this game feel very slow to start?
Well, it's good for the defense to huddle up, I think. You start building unity like that.
There's Williams, and he is stopped right at the 40-yard line after a pickup of nearly 3. D'Amico Ryans and Patrick Chung on the tackle, and third down coming up for the Panthers.
Well, this is the down where they get out of their base defense and they put their nickel on, meaning they take a linebacker out, they put an extra pass rusher in. This is Kerry Williams down there fighting with the feisty Steve Smith. Yeah, he's not going to take that from Steve Smith. That's Steve Smith in his 13th year, throwing Kerry Williams to the ground, and Kerry Williams gets right back up, and that's what you expect, that type of feistiness out of Williams.
Third down and 4.
Here they are here.
Locking horns again. And Newton again chased out of the pocket. This time he's just going to get it away. Fletcher Cox had him. It looked as though it was going to be a sack. And right there, the Eagles defense comes up with a hold. Carolina will have to punt it away.
All right, here we go. So right now, Fletcher Cox is just going to go to inside push, and then he sees him coming out. Now this is where Fletcher Cox and why he was the 12th pick in the draft. I mean, he can chase down Cam Newton here. Not many defensive tackles in this league are going to get to Cam Newton and then affect the throw like that.
Panthers punting it away. Brad Nortman with Tavares Johnson back for the Eagles inside his 10. And Johnson going to let it go. Great coverage down the field by Carolina. And the Eagles are going to be starting from their own 5-yard line. 36-yard punt, no return. Our first look at the offense when we come back. NRG is changing the game for Eagles fans with safe, reliable energy solutions in innovative ways. NRG, the power to change life.
Eagles are going to see a very good front four, a better front four tonight from Carolina than what they saw last week from the New England Patriots. They're going to see a 4-man front, and they've got size inside. So the running game will be tested early.
Saw the numbers on Nick Foles right there from last season. He gets the start this evening at quarterback. A little bit of time, trying to create more time. And throwing it away as Avant got knocked out of bounds by Captain Munnerlyn down the sideline.
If this is a hold in the end zone, personal foul, or intentional ground.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Mike Mitchell, the safety, gets hit for the roughing the passer call.
McCoy going to step up here. Protection right now. Nice job of stoning that corner. Now that late hit, he didn't knock Nick Foles to the ground, but that's one thing Foles brings, is that ability to kind of take a hit, gets them out of that troubled area inside the 5-yard line.
So from the 20, Foles back on his heels, and that is brought in by Riley Cooper with a catch out at the 25. Nice adjustment to the football.
And here the Eagles are going hurry up right now, no huddle. I saw them run 100 reps yesterday in practice against air, just like this.
And the first carry for McCoy. First down, yardage across the 30. Take a look at the Eagles starters on offense, presented by AAA. Nick Foles, as planned, getting the start. LeSean McCoy, his first start. Jackson and Cooper, the wide receivers. James Casey, the starting tight end. And there goes McCoy once again. This time, Thomas Davis got a hold of him as he came across the 35 after a pickup of about 2.
One of the things that Nick Foles is reading is the 2 safeties for Carolina. Right now, both safeties are back, which means there's 6 guys in a box, 5 for the offensive line, and then Nick Foles is reading 1. You see that? Look, these safeties back, and if it's a check with me, run pass, look for the run. Outside zone.
And there is Polk going around the corner. Taken down by Luke Kuechly out at the 40-yard line. That was a familiar refrain from last year in the NFL. The Eagles about 3 yards shy of the first down.
Chris Polk, the starter last week in their game against the Patriots, lined up and ready to go see if Carolina can get lined up this quick.
Foles has time. Firing complete. First down yardage into Carolina territory. And the sliding catch made by Zach Ertz, the rookie out of Stanford.
Well, watch the protection right here. Nick Foles has a chance to double pump that ball, and that pocket is clean. And this is a very good pass rushing defense of Carolina. Their 2 ends had 23 sacks last year, Hardy and Johnson. They didn't get near him.
From the 45, Polk off the left side. Hard running inside the 40 and down to the 38. He got 7. Mike Mitchell on the tackle for Carolina.
Well, one thing that you like about Chris Polk is the yards after first contact. He breaks a lot of tackles because he's got a good, strong lower body. So he picked up 3 extra yards after the first contact.
6 plays so far, 4 runs, couple of passes. And Foles dump it off for first down yardage to Brent Selleck.
Scott, that's what Chip Kelly's looking for from Nick Foles. He fakes the outside zone, he gets out of the pocket, he's got pressure in his face, but he's still able to make a play. You know, I mean, that's kind of the basketball player in him. Make one guy miss, wait for a guy to come open, and move the chains. That's a play that gets weighted, that, you know, rings well when you evaluate these quarterbacks.
Already 4 first downs on this drive, and look at this. Avant down near the 25-yard line. You've seen them work on that a little bit in practice. That is something that you don't see a whole lot of.
No, that's a college play. That's straight out of Oregon now. I mean, here it is, going to see the fake inside zone. Okay, now you come out, read option, and now that's a lateral. That's a lateral to the wide receiver. That's a snippet of the trickeration that's in this offense.
The trickeration.
I don't know if it's a word.
Working back to the inside, and Cooper with some blocking help. Late flag comes in on the play as he is stopped a couple of yards shy of the first down. It was Kuechly on the tackle. We'll see about the flag.
Going to have offensive pass interference on Jason Avant, picking the corner for Riley Cooper.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 81. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
All right, so here's Avant here. He's going to come out now and really pick that corner. He can't initiate that contact like that. He can stand there and let the defender come through him, but he can't go out and grab him like he did.
So you're telling me you have to set it like a basketball screen?
You've done a lot of those plays just like that, Scott, for a lot of years. Let him run into you.
Second down, Avant, a chance to atone. And works his way inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line, a 10-yard pickup before getting taken down by Josh Thomas.
You know, that throw is a function of accuracy because this throw has got to be right in front of Avant here. So he bubbles a little bit, and you have to be accurate with it to get the ball in place so he's running at full speed when he gets it.
Foles a perfect 5 for 5 on the drive so far. Making time. First down yardage near the 15. It's Avant again.
It's an impressive opening drive. I mean, first of all, he doesn't lose his poise when he drops the ball. And now he keeps his head up. And all great quarterbacks have receivers that will make great catches. It's a function of the way they throw the ball and the touch they throw it with. That time, Avant laying out.
10 plays, 5 first downs, and now they're in the red zone. First down and 10 from the Carolina 15. And Cole saw something he didn't like, and he turns around and calls for the timeout. Momentum early for the Eagles offensive unit. We come back, they'll try to punch it in. Tonight's game is presented by Sports Authority, all things sporting good. Scoreless here in the first, and Brian, when you've got all kinds of offensive momentum, how much does it take away to take a timeout here?
Well, this is just a sick man's box. I mean, you got 2 linebackers, 4 defensive linemen. There's no look that the Eagles go against in practice that they haven't seen before. And so when you're making a checklist of how these quarterbacks are doing, you burn to turn them out in the first quarter, that's not going to please Chip Kelly. They should be prepared for every look that they get from the defense.
And that so far is really the only thing that has stopped what has been a very impressive opening drive for the offense.
And you're right, they had great momentum up into that play.
Sean McCoy back in behind Foles on first down from the Carolina 15. There's McCoy, a lot of running room. And taken down from behind by Greg Hardy down at about the 8-yard line. Following the blocks of Jason Kelsey and Todd Hermans. No huddle.
That's just their inside zone double team at the point between Hermans and Lane Johnson. And it's a second fumble.
And Foles throwing toward the back of the end zone is picked off. He was trying to throw it away. Josh Thomas holds it in right at the end line. And that drive comes away without points.
Nick would like to have that ball back from the beginning. From the fumbled snap to this poor throw in the end zone.
Carolina gets it back when we come back.
And we're back here. It's not how many great plays you make as a quarterback, it's how many bad plays you commit. This is a bad play by Nick Foles. All right, he takes his eyes off the ball. Okay, now where's the poise? He's just trying to throw this ball away. He sees the double coverage here. He's just trying to throw it away right there at that point. He didn't get enough on it. And so on second down, that close to the goal line, there's a lot of other things you can do with that football. And he's got a much better arm than that, than allow that ball to die like it.
It's the only misfire that he had on that opening drive. 6 out of 7, and the one that wasn't complete was an interception. Newton back out at quarterback, and all day to throw the football over the fingers of Steve Smith.
And Nate Allen really laid off on him. He wanted to blow him up, but Steve Smith coming across the middle. I mean, he's just going to come on a straight drag here. He's just running through the zone right now. Really, Cam Newton just missed him because he was open. Nate Allen wanted to lower the boom on him, and then with all of the emphasis on defenseless receivers, it's smart to be able to just pull up and not give him an easy first down.
The backfield, a great play by Cedric Thornton. He drops Williams back for a loss of 5 to the 15.
And Thornton's been active early today, coming off a performance he'd like to have back from a week ago. But here he is right here. I mean, he's just going to come up the field right now, unblocked on the play. So you get unblocked, the guard didn't pick him up. You're in the backfield, you can't miss that, even though it's D'Angelo Williams. So now you put Carolina in a real negative situation. We'll see if this pass rush can get towards close to Cam Newton.
And now you've got motion. That's going to back Carolina up 5 more.
False start. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Ron Rivera doesn't like what he sees from his offense. Couple of negative plays backed up. Right here, Cedric Thornton in his second season, a free agent out of Arkansas State a year ago. Got great size, and they're expecting him to compete for a starting defensive end spot.
Third down and a bunch to go. Newton still has time trying to find someone and nearly picked off. Great coverage downfield. Brandon Boykin had a shot at the interception.
Well, you've got 8 men dropping in the zone here on 3rd and 20. So they take Steve Smith away. 3 receiver side right now. Nothing deep for Cam Newton. So it's well executed. And really, Brandon Boykin has to come up with that ball. I mean, they work on that ball drill every single day in practice. He's got to come up with that turnover.
Nortman to kick it away to Damaris Johnson. And Johnson with a little bit of room to operate on the near side. Cut back running into Carolina territory. And down inside the 40. Doug Hogue made the tackle on special teams, but great field position to start the second drive for the Eagles after a 19-yard punt return. Buying or selling tickets? Visit NFL.com/ticket exchange. The only official resale marketplace of the NFL where 100% of the tickets are verified by Ticketmaster. Pretty good seats.
Yeah. Good advantage point. Spent a lot of time breaking down Lane Johnson in his first game this past week. Played 21 snaps. Really active. Had a busy week, which we'll get to.
The 39-yard line, and Foles blown up on the play. Is the ball live? No, the officials are saying incomplete pass. Star Latulele got in on him, and Nick Foles never even had time to set his feet to make a throw.
Well, it was going to be a screen pass, and the offensive line's a timing route where the offensive line releases the defensive line to get out, and they just release the lineman too quickly. So that will happen in the screen game sometimes.
On second down, Foles showed that throwback look again, but he had an open lane to run to and gets it down to the 33-yard line for a pickup of 6 before Greg Hardy brought him down.
I mean, he's going to fake the inside draw here and come out. So it's just an inside read, and if the end doesn't respect Nick Foles, we saw this last week, he'd pull it down. Right now, the Eagles on third down go to 3 tight ends. You can see double stacks out here.
3 tight ends, but none of them is actually up against the line. They're all outside the numbers. And that creates the running lane for McCoy for a first down. How about that? We talk about spreading the field. That's how it's done.
Well, the double stacks, and so there's only 5 guys in here. So it's 5 on 5 up front. You get 5 on 5, they're going to hand it to LaShawn McCoy on third down every time. He just made the leading tackler in the NFL grab nothing but air in Luke Kuechly.
No personnel change, so still with the big package on the field, and McCoy in the backfield on first down. And Shady McCoy, look at that move to the outside and back in. Still on his feet. The stiff arm inside the 10, and the crowd loves it here at Lincoln Financial Field. That is just a glimpse of what you might see out of Shady McCoy in a wide open offense.
Well, you're going to see 3 great stops and starts. That's 1. All right? Here's 2. There's 3. And now with the cutback all the way across, I'd say Shady McCoy is in form, like mid-season form. Even kind of a weak stiff arm at the very end.
21 yards on the pickup, and now Chris Polk in the backfield on first and goal. Foles has all kinds of room. With a block to the outside, he'll go in. Touchdown! Riley Cooper held the block, and Nick Foles scampers in for the game's first score.
Nick Foles will never win any track meets, but he's a long strider. He covers a lot of ground, and for whatever reason, he scrambles. He gets a lot of open field. I mean, nice job on the outside here by Barbie staying with his end. And now, I mean, that's Luke Kuechly chasing him. I mean, he did lead the league in tackles a year ago and has as much speed as any middle linebacker in the league. Nick Foles beat him to the corner. Long strides, covers a lot of ground.
Alex Henry for the extra point, it is good. 5 plays, 39 yards. Riley Cooper knew his quarterback needed a little bit of help.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's your escort into the end zone. 7-0 Eagles. Five-play touchdown drive. The Eagles with 68 rushing yards so far and a rushing touchdown for their quarterback.
Yeah, you know, and I just think LaShawn McCoy, he was hungry to get back out here on the field. It's been a while, but his quickness is matched by nobody else in this league. His ability to stop and start. And for Nick Foles, that was incredibly important to put that bad drive and the bad throw out of his mind, come back on a short field, a 39-yard field, and get him in the end zone. That's part of playing quarterback, is putting the bad plays out of your head and not let them bother you.
Henry kicks it away. It's another boomer and right back on out of the end zone.
Well, they'll take that every time from Alex Henry.
So far, Carolina's offense has been held to 40 yards in their first couple of possessions, and that was with a little bit of a spike early on. Defense appears to be getting a little bit more, I guess you'd say, their feet underneath them.
Well, you know, they need confidence. They are transitioning from a 4-3 to a 3-4. It usually takes 2 years. It's a totally different terminology, new players, learning to play with one another. It's only their second game, so it's a big improvement from a week ago.
There's Williams trying to cut back, and he is taken down after a pickup of about 4. Clifton Geathers makes the tackle for the Eagles.
You know, they are trying to defend Cam Newton, and nobody in the history of the game threw for more yards in their first 2 years than Cam Newton. He's been sensational, especially his rookie of the year, as the rookie of the year. But he came back last year. He finished strong. They won 5 of their last 7 games, and they've got him a few more weapons this year to work with.
He was on display here last year in Week 12 at Lincoln Financial Field. He had 341 net yards, 4 touchdowns he was responsible for in that game. There's Ginn, and Ted Ginn Jr.'s got himself a first down out across the 40.
And that was just a zone that time, and really nobody clamped on Ted Ginn. Pick up from the San Francisco 49ers. D'Amico Ryans and Michael Kendricks, the inside linebackers, they'll play about the first quarter tonight. They spent a lot of time playing next to each other last year in a 4-3, now playing next to each other in a 3-4. They'll be on the field for every down. The nickel, the dime, the subs, the base packages.
That's Williams cutting back, something he does very well. And it's going to be yardage out across the 48-yard line, a couple of yards shy of the first down. Kendricks lost the helmet on the play.
Well, he's got the type of quickness that LaShawn McCoy has. He's got a 1,500-yard season on his resume. Hard to find him sometimes. He's only 5'9" back there. But I thought there was a missed tackle right in the middle of that field right on that play. It allowed him to pick up a couple extra yards.
And Williams has the first down, running right behind that right side of his offensive line. Sopoaga makes the tackle, but they'll move the sticks. And Carolina down to the Eagles' 45.
Now, Isaac Sopoaga is in his 10th year. He comes from the San Francisco 49ers, and he's really just a nose tackle. He doesn't come in and rush the passer. He only had 1 sack in the last couple of years, but his job is to stop the run and plug the middle. He's a good 2-gapper, which means he's got the gap to his left and a gap to his right, and he's strong enough and wide enough to do that.
10th NFL season, not bad for a Samoan rugby player. There is Smith to the outside. Good stiff arm on the outside to pick up extra yards, and it looks like the first down.
That's the second completion against Kerry Williams, who really hasn't played, since Super Bowl Sunday. He's getting him a big cushion here down at the bottom. I'd like to see Kerry Williams, who's an interesting story, Scott. I mean, there's a guy that started off at Fordham, transferred to Washburn College in Topeka, Kansas. Yeah, he was one of those Ichabods. Then he was a 7th-round pick at Tennessee, cut 3 times before he got to the Ravens, where he started the last 38 games.
Williams stopped at the line of scrimmage. Patrick Chung is there. You forgot the in-between, by the way, between Fordham and Washburn, what he was doing?
Yeah.
He was an on-call technician for DirecTV.
Yeah, well, when you're out of the league and you're doing those kind of things, you stay hungry because you know that you can be on the street at any time.
1 quarter down, 3 quarters to go. Eagles defense trying to continue to hold. Shady McCoy and company feeling the offensive rhythm early tonight, and the Eagles with a 7-0 lead. Coming this fall, don't forget to pick up your Eagles and Coke Zero specially marked packages. Get ready to start the second quarter. So far, so good for Nick Foles with 1 mistake, but he made up for that with a touchdown run. Now the Eagles' second drive. Now Carolina on the move. On second down as we begin the second quarter, and Cam Newton, well, he's got some running ability of his own. Cut down along the outside by Michael Kendricks inside the 30.
Got an easy guy to bring down in the open field. A lot of play-action passes from Carolina tonight. I mean, here's Kendricks on the outside. mean, right now he's got the flat, he's got the back, and he sees Cam Newton now break the pocket. You don't want to miss that tackle in the open field against a guy like Cam Newton, who has run for 22 touchdowns in his first 2 years in the league.
A lot of people do miss that open field tackle against Cam Newton.
Well, Kendricks should never miss an open field tackle. As quick and fast as he is, he should be able to run through a guy even like Newton.
They're down at 4, and Carolina over on third down so far. Down the middle, and they'll stay over as the pass is broken up. Trying to get it out to Ted Ginn Jr., and it bounces off his hands. That's going to bring on the field goal unit for the Panthers.
I thought it was good coverage. Kerry Williams was right there. Ball came out hot because the pocket was collapsing on Cam Newton, so it was a good job by the defensive line. The coverage was there.
Graham Gano, 9 of 11 last season. Signed as a free agent by Carolina last November. Best known for the 3 seasons he was with the Washington Redskins. A 47-yard attempt. A lot of leg, and that one is good. So Carolina on the board in the opening moments of this second quarter. Chip Kelly's offense gets a chance to rev up once again, perhaps this time behind Michael Vick. Tonight's game is presented by Sports Authority. All things sporting good. 7-3 ball game, and number 7 has the chin strap on. Michael Vick ready to come out. Here's your burning questions once again for this season, Baldy.
Well, we're going to review them every week. You know, I mean, the quarterback competition is on. Mike Vick gets his shot tonight. Will the Eagles be tougher on defense? They looked tougher tonight. I think they've tackled better so far. You know, work on the running game. It wasn't very good. They missed a lot of blocks in the first game. It looks a little better with Shady in there tonight. They got to find an outside linebacker opposite of Connor Barwin right now.
Gano's long kick
went through the goalpost.
That's not returnable. So here comes Michael Vick. See the numbers from last season in limited time: 12 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. 4-time Pro Bowler, and I'll tell you what, he looked marvelous last week.
He only played 10 snaps, but he delivered the ball on timing. He knew exactly what he was doing. And how about what he told us this week, Scott? He said he wakes up in the middle of the night, can't wait to come to practice right now, simply because he loves this offense. He knows it's tailor-made to his skill set.
On the 20-yard line. Has a little bit of time, trusting the protection again, and there's McCoy out of the backfield. That's the other part he's going to be able to bring in this offense, a pickup of 9.
All right, Mike Vick with plenty of protection there to set his feet, stay calm in the pocket, but watch Lane Johnson on the outside picking up a corner, and he just stays with them. He just runs them right into the line. That's the athletic ability to be able to slide inside and just keep pushing them into the pile.
On second down, right back to McCoy. And first down yardage out near the 33.
Just the one thing about Lane Johnson, watching him, the kick set is that right foot stepping out to the defensive end or to the pass rusher. He's got a great kick set. He doesn't overextend the pass rushers, which is a fault of a lot of young players. And then his speed on the backside in space, he can run with some of the elite players in this league.
4 wide receivers to choose from on first down. They spread the field, and right back to the ground they go. And McCoy out across the 35 for a pickup of about 3. Thomas Davis, the tackle for Carolina.
Scott, you look like one of those guys that loves to play fantasy football. The drafts are coming up. Keep your eye on LeSean McCoy. If you got a chance to get him, he's going to be a big scorer for you this year. We're seeing him in all phases of the game right now.
He's there again with the carry again, and this time taken down from behind. Greg Carty came right down the line of scrimmage and dropped him, no gain. So third down coming up.
You know, this third down throw for Mike Vick and this play for Mike Vick, if you can complete this, it allows you to extend the drive and stay on the field. Last thing I think Mike Vick wants is to be off the field. Now, there seems to be some confusion on where to line up right now, and Mike Vick's got to know what everybody's doing to get everybody lined up.
Plenty of time on the play clock, still 15 to go before the snap. And now you've got contact, and the defense just helped him out. They're going to get called for being offside.
Encroachment. Defense, number 96. Still third down.
Star Latulele, the top draft pick, number 14 overall out of Utah.
Well, they're pulling him out to let him know that those kind of things hurt your defense. And so now Mike Vick, you know, one thing about Mike here in this offense, you always have to account for him as a runner. Right now, Carolina's got both linebackers up for him.
They give it to Polk, and he's got a first down and more. Late flag coming in from behind, though, and that may erase the game.
It's going to be holding against the Eagles.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. 10-yard penalty. Still third down.
Todd Harriman's called for the hold, and that negates a big run by Polk.
Well, he's the right guard. He's got Thomas Davis, 58, over him, along with Luke Kuechly. There he is on the play.
So the big gain erased a third down and 12 now to try to keep the drive going for Vick. Polk in the backfield with him. Vick has time, firing complete for the first down. Just throwing a dart to Jason Avant out across the 45-yard line, and that moves the sticks.
Now, that is a huge throw. I mean, it's a stick throw, and what you see from Mike Vick, his feet are calm in the pocket. He's not looking to run. He's looking to wait for the receivers to open up, and his arm is as good as it's ever been. So Avant, whose catches always seem to go up every single year he's been in this league. Watch Mike here. This is the calmness that he speaks of right now. Up on his toes. He's trusting his protection up front, and the ball is thrown low exactly where it needed to be thrown.
Three tight ends sets up the run for Polk, and Polk forward motion out across the 48-yard line for a pickup of a couple.
Well, for Mike Vick, you know, I mean, he's been a guy that's been such a great runner in this league. He's run for over 1,000 yards. He's been Pro Bowls and won playoff games, but he has to be more calm in the pocket. He's doing that now because I think he really understands what he's supposed to do.
All day to throw, and right there on time across the middle for another first down. That one was Ekwunagu. Couldn't tell right away when the helmet popped off and straight up in the air, but he makes the catch for the Eagle first down.
Look at that throw. I mean, just in stride, a dart, tight spiral. I mean, it just seems like a very confident player, talking about Mike Vick right now and what he's being asked to do. And he thinks a lot of it is the competition that's getting the best out of him right now.
Another opportunity with a lot of open running lanes, but the ball popped free on Polk, and it'll be recovered by Carolina. Charles Johnson with the recovery inside the 20. And a good-looking drive gets sidetracked by the Eagles' second turnover of the night.
He's got it wrapped up. It looked like he had it pretty high and tight, but not tight enough as it gets popped out.
Eagles Nest at Lincoln Financial Field. Go to PhiladelphiaEagles.com for more info on how you can score tickets to an Eagles home game. Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Let's take a look here at Chris Polk, because this ball gets knocked out way too easy. That's just a hand by Thomas Davis that just poked that loose, and there's nothing that will put you on the bench quicker in this league as a running back than getting the ball knocked out. He is thinking about that the entire time right now, sitting on that bench.
Two big turnovers here in the first half, taking away the possibility for more points, and Newton firing down right to the arms of Greg Olsen, his tight end, up the 39-yard line for a pickup of 20.
And Bradley Fletcher was all over him. He was right on top of him. You see good coverage, but I mean, Fletcher's there. He tries to rip it out even, but a perfect throw by Newton to Olsen. Right now, the starting secondary that the Eagles picked up in free agency, from Fletcher to Chung, all the way to Williams, is in that secondary right now.
Fell in motion on first down. And Williams kicks it to the outside. Cole takes him down at the 44-yard line. That's another pickup of 5 yards.
Pretty good job by Kerry Williams, though, coming up and forcing that play inside. I mean, here he is on the outside. He's going to be coming up here. So he bounces it outside, and D'Angelo Williams has that ability, and that's what you want from your corner, to be able to turn that inside, allow Trent Cole to come and clean it up. Kerry Williams from a culture in Baltimore where all 11 defenders were expected to be able to tackle and tackle well.
No doubt about that. Williams hit in the backfield, straight on through the gap was Michael Kendricks. Nate Allen got back there as well.
Well, here's Kendricks inside. He's just going to shoot the gap right now. He reads it quickly. Comes right between the center and the guard. That's a good play. I mean, that's a double check plus if you're grading linebackers when you get a tackle for a loss.
And once again, third down, which has been a problem for Carolina, 0 for 3 in the game. Defense trying to get off the field once again. Newton firing. First down yardage. There's a combo you see an awful lot of as Steve Smith makes the catch in Eagles territory at the 42. Once again, the blitz was coming. This time it got picked up.
Well, both inside linebackers come. Kendricks and Ryan's come, and they don't get near Cam Newton. So even that wounded duck that Cam Newton kind of threw there, I mean, Kerry Williams works on this every day in practice. Literally, one-on-one, you got him all over the field. You just hope that the pressure applied by a six-man rush can affect the throw a little bit better than that.
You got a 5-time Pro Bowler coming at you, too. Smith has a pretty decent idea of how to get open on third down.
He's been doing it for 13 years.
From the 42, blitz coming. Newton got rid of it. And a little bit of a short arm by Smith as he felt the pressure coming across the middle.
Yeah, and the pressure, though, got to Cam Newton a little bit that time. That's why the ball was a little bit high coming out. But Patrick Chung was sitting there in that safety hole waiting for him to come across. It's a good hit. Good hit. Nice job by Michael Kendricks of pulling up so that there's no issue hitting the quarterback late. The head was up, led with the shoulder. But you can see those are the kind of hits that you want if you're going to blitz your middle linebacker. And you're going to expect a lot more blitzing from Michael Kendricks this year because he's good at it.
A lot of movement, maybe some contact. We'll see. Jordan Gross came up out of his stance. And Greg Olsen is playing the part of the lawyer.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Now, this is a little subjective, this rule. I mean, because Trent Cole jumped into the neutral zone, but he got back. But they think that he drew Jordan Gross off by jumping into the neutral. So
now, Jordan Gross has the option in that situation to come up out of his stance and say, look what he made me do.
Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't see the little late on the infraction that time. But Trent Cole is allowed to jump into the neutral zone as long as he gets back.
Big package in for Carolina on second down in an I formation. Williams power running. Not a whole lot there. Maybe a pickup of half a yard before Fletcher Cox makes the tackle.
Well, they got a couple young players in there as well. Sopaga comes out. He's in there to stop the run. Put a better pass rusher in there. That's their inside pass rush. Cox and Thornton, the two inside defensive tackles that they like to see rushing the quarterback on third down. Connor Barwin on the outside from one side, Trent Cole on the other side.
Third down, call it 5. And throwing behind the receiver, the catch is made and it's a first down. Steve Smith making a tough catch again on a third down to move the sticks.
I tell you, I mean, Fletcher was up on him. This throw was behind him, but it's a great catch by Steve Smith. We've seen receivers in these first two games for the Patriots in Carolina beat really good coverage with good throws and better catches.
Take a look at Smith. 91 straight games with a reception. 7 1,000-yard seasons.
You don't want to talk to Steve Smith if he doesn't catch the ball after the game.
Sometimes you don't want to talk to him if he does. Williams got hit hard, but found forward progress down inside the 21-yard line. Healthy D'Angelo Williams is something that Carolina needs to get that running game going. And time running down here in the second quarter, Carolina trying to find a little bit of an offensive rhythm again.
Yeah, it's just a patient runner that time, just really running that stretch play where you're just stringing the defensive line out and just looking for a little bit of daylight. And he's just small enough to be able to fit through the smallest of cracks for a good gain on first down.
packages in to run the ball again. We'll see if they do on second down. They do. And Williams has a first down. Down to the 15-yard line, a 6-yard pickup.
And the Eagles are going to wholesale substitute here. A brand new defensive line and 2 new outside linebackers. So I think Billy Davis said, you know what, those guys are getting tired up front. Let's roll them through. And really in this league right now, you better be too deep across the board on defense. Cliff Gathers in there, Damian Square, Benny Logan. Logan, the 3rd-round pick from LSU, played well last week.
5-minute drive. This is the 10th play now. First down from the 15. Williams been the workhorse. And he is taken down from behind. It was Gathers coming down the line to make the tackle after a pickup of about 3.
Well, Gathers comes from a football family. You know, his brother plays for Cincinnati. His uncle, Jumpy Gathers, played for the Washington Redskins in Denver, one of the best pass rushers to ever play in this league. 6'8", 340 pounds. There's a part of him that you can't coach because of his size. He needs to play a little quicker and get off blocks a little bit better. But his potential, even though he's been to, this is his 6th team, is still enormous.
Clock under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. And now it's Torrin Poole with the carry inside the 10. Got himself a couple, and it'll set up a 3rd down and 4. A lot of activity down at the bottom of that pile.
That's all right. All right, you want to see you guys get up off the ground like that. Brandon Graham last week, kind of guilty of playing outside the scheme a little bit. You're trying to stop this 3rd down and stop the touchdown. You want to force a field goal in this situation. Watch for Carolina to run a lot of crossing routes at this part of the field.
Steve Smith in single coverage to the near side. That's where he's looking. And over the head of Smith, who was locked up one-on-one with Bradley Fletcher down in the corner. And Fletcher gets the better of that exchange as Carolina will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Good challenge by Fletcher. His head's in the right place, looking inside out. Got Steve Smith on his hip. It's well played. They get a lot of reps on that particular play in practice throughout this preseason.
Morgan Lineberry, the rookie out of Abilene Christian, comes on now to attempt the field goal of 27 yards. And that one is good, just inside the right upright. So Carolina has to settle for a field goal. Defense does its job in keeping the opposition out of the end zone with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Our sideline coverage tonight is brought to you by Gatorade. Win from within.
Well, with 3 minutes to go here, Scott, in the first half, I mean, one thing about Chip Kelly from Oregon, nobody scored faster than the Oregon Ducks. Now, I don't expect in the NFL that you can do that you can score 23 times in less than a minute with big plays, but that's the mentality that the big plays are always there. And if the defense doesn't cover certain things, you're going to get them. So with Mike Vick coming out here, I mean, they're always in hurry up. It's not a question of when do you get to it. They're always in that mode.
First scoring drive was a minute 57, albeit just 39 yards for the touchdown. And now Damaris Johnson going to have a chance to return this Morgan Lineberry kick. And a good return out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. 29-yard return, and the offense gets an opportunity to go hurry up again late in the first half.
Back to Lincoln Financial Field, the Eagles lead at 7-6, and you're going to see a lot of hurry-up offense here in these last couple of minutes. You've seen a lot already. It's interesting, on the sidelines, who's having trouble keeping up with Chip Kelly's offense? Well, apparently everyone, including the chain gang. I mean, these guys are on the run, having trouble staying up with the flow of this game, spotting the line of scrimmage.
Now you can understand if you're not used to seeing it. We're going to be off to the races again because Vick finds Deshaun Jackson for his first catch of the night out at the 38-yard line. Move those sticks, guys.
Well, here they come.
No, got to go faster. You got to go faster than that.
Yeah. I think he had himself in place.
Barely in the nick of time because they're snapping again on first down. And Vick throwing again. Once again, wide open is Jackson. His man Josh Thomas fell down on the cut, and they are now in Carolina territory.
Well, that's just Deshaun running the corner off, come to a complete stop, and that's what you get with Deshaun on the outside. The respect of that speed, your feet come right out from underneath you like that, and Mike Vick was throwing another dart in that direction.
Moving quickly again, play action. Vick buys a little extra time. Looking down the field, there it is, and Cooper's got it for the first down.
Well, the initial reaction by Mike Vick was unbelievable, but here it is. Deshaun Jackson, there was the initial read on the outside. And then Riley Cooper, this is just a comeback drill. The deepest comes back, the shallowest goes deep, and that's all that is.
3 plays, 3 first downs for the Eagles, and we have reached the 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia.
Hey everybody, 7-6 Eagles driving here. Reminder about the NFL security policy. If you bring a bag into Lincoln Financial Field this season, it must be a clear bag, and it fits a lot. There's plenty of room, but it has to be clear. And also for the ladies, everyone, you are bringing your clutch purses. There are regulation sizes here. This is the good one. It's 6 inches long, 4.5 inches wide. This is the bad one. It's longer than 6 inches. You cannot exceed those regulations, ladies. It's an NFL policy, so please abide by the new NFL rules. Guys, back to you.
Any policies of what color the hair is?
Clearly not, at least in the preseason.
Well, you know what? It's all about having a good time out here. So the Eagles offensively, the only group that have stopped them is themselves so far. I mean, Carolina hasn't stopped them. They've just ended one drive with an interception and one with a fumble.
Now, Michael Vick, 3 out of 3 for 50 yards on this drive and a first down from the 24. Buying time again. It's Shady McCoy. Down to the 21-yard line, a pickup of 3. Captain Munnerlyn the tackle.
Looking for Deshaun Jackson up at the top. And you got a safety over the top, so it kind of nullified him on that play.
Couple different ways to look. And now Vick gonna duck and run. First down inside the 10. Jason Williams, the former Eagle, making the tackle, but it's first down and goal to go.
Well, this is just a smart play by Mike because the protection did begin to collapse. And so he got outside. He's got LeSean McCoy to his left. He sees an opening. And look, for a guy that ran for over 1,000 yards in one season, those kind of runs are nothing to him.
Going to try to run again. With a block on the outside, he's close and stops short at the 1-yard line. Mario Addison made the tackle.
Chip Kelly ran all the way out to the 15-yard line to try to get the timeout.
Timeout, Philadelphia.
I think Sean a little shaken up.
Pressing down on the toe of his right foot.
Yeah, he's had an incredible training camp. Been out there every day, hasn't missed a day. And a new rap song that just got released this week.
Coming up at halftime, we'll see a different side to linebacker Michael Kendricks in Sights and Sounds. Going to recap the stats and highlights from the first half. Dave Spadaro will get Chip Kelly's first half thoughts as well.
Take a look at the end of the last play as Mike Vick is getting a block from Deshaun Jackson on the outside. Nothing that you could tell from that replay would suggest an injury.
It was so interesting, if you missed it earlier, when we got an opportunity earlier this week to talk to Michael Vick, as you see Jackson trying to walk it off. Honestly, Michael Vick sounded like a little kid at Christmas time. He was talking about the fact that so much of the stuff, what you learn one day and then what you learn the next, it's all good, it's all fun, it's one thing building on another. So he says, I can't sleep at night because I'm wondering what I'm going to get the next day going in to find out more from Chip Kelly.
Well, that's Chip, because what he's done is he's taken complicated offensive terminology and concepts and he's simplified it to the simplest of formulas, and everybody can understand it quickly.
Second down and goal. Shady McCoy with a touchdown. can't get more efficient in that drive.
That was all Mike Vick all the way. I mean, it was 3 easy completions. It was a couple of scrambles. It was getting out of harm's way. And in the evaluation process in this competition, you have to be impressed by what Mike Vick has done not only last week, but here tonight. I'd be more worried about Deshaun Jackson limping off the field, but
extra point is good. Michael Vick leads a 7-play, 74-yard drive, takes 2:07 and makes his head coach a very happy man. That is some 2-minute offense right there.
Well, it's the offense, Scott. It's not, like most teams, that is the 2-minute offense. But in this team, it's the offense. It's always built to go fast. It's built to be done at the line of scrimmage. You see Riley Cooper in reverse motion here, and they get that guy to run with them so there's nobody on the corner. And James Casey gets a good block on the outside. And Shady McCoy, who scored 20 touchdowns 2 years ago, I think is going to have a big year with a lot of runs just like that. There's just a calmness about Mike Vick in this offense right now that I haven't seen. I've seen him in Dan Reeves' offense. I saw him with Greg Knapp in Atlanta. I saw him with Marty Morningweg and Howard Mudd, but I think this is the best offense for Mike Vick. They've always asked, what's the best offense for Mike? This is it right here.
Tell you what, you're a head coach, you're pretty satisfied with what you just saw because that is a glimpse of what this offense can do.
Mike said to us he would have loved to have come out of Virginia Tech 12 years ago and had Chip Kelly as his coach from day one.
Smith to the field, 3 yards deep in the end zone, and he's only going to get out to the 10. Good special teams coverage by Russell Shepard, the wide receiver, limiting it to just a 13-yard return.
Now, Chip Kelly gets into every special teams meeting, and nobody runs more special teams in practice than the Eagles, and they run right through the wedge here. Russell Shepard trying to make this team as a wide receiver. That's bigger than any catch he could make, making that coverage tackle inside the 15-yard line.
Well, we'll see what Carolina decides to do here with 48 seconds left in the half. Cam Newton has played the entire of this first half. And his pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
It's Benny Logan.
Yep.
Benny Logan, who played the nose tackle last week, the defensive tackle, the defensive end, and really was all over the field, raised eyebrows everywhere. Here he is right on top of the center. You know what, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. And he gets the left hand up and bats that ball down. And you should get excited about that, Benny.
A second down from the 11. And a turn and a give to Torrent Poole to the 15-yard line. And after the tackle by Logan, another timeout now.
I like the timeout called by Chip Kelly because he's thinking about points. Because Chip Kelly's always thinking about points. He is. I mean, I've seen this at Oregon. I mean, special teams, they're, Dave Phipp talking to him right there. That play puts Carolina in a bad position, and now you set up a third down here. Chip is thinking right now, you know what? We can get this ball in good field position. We can score again. And that's how you have to think in the NFL. You have to think all the time. Remember going back to the AFC Championship game, Peyton Manning with 35 seconds to go, elected to take a knee and not be aggressive with the ball.
I'm not sure they're over that in Denver yet.
No.
Well, what happened also is because Jackson was injured, that timeout that Chip Kelly called was not a timeout, leaving them with the extra here. Chase Blackburn actually was the one injured on the play for Carolina. And so now on third down, flag on the play. Newton throwing it away. We wait on the flag now with 31 seconds left in the half.
Be holding it against Carolina, which will be declined. And with the incomplete, the Eagles are going to get a chance with this ball.
Holding. Offense, number 65. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is fourth down.
So a chance now as the defense once again gets off the field on a third down.
And it was really set up by the special teams tackle by Russell Shepard, putting Carolina back deep inside their 15-yard line. And now Damaris Johnson has a chance to give the Eagles real good field position.
Return guy salivates in a situation like this.
No doubt.
Nortman's punt is a pretty good one, and he'll call for the fair catch just out of harm's way at the 38-yard line. 48 yards on the kick and no return. 24 seconds to work with and a timeout for Mike Vick and the Eagles.
Yeah, and they got a timeout in their pocket. And obviously that was a problem over a long time in the previous regime. And I think Chip Kelly's upset that he doesn't have 2 timeouts in his pocket right now. But you have 24 seconds and a timeout. There's plenty of time for Chip Kelly, who only had 23 touchdowns and led all of Major College a year ago with touchdowns scored under a minute.
Under a minute.
Yeah.
That's where we are right now.
I think this is when Chip Kelly coaches at his very best. Got a free play.
Try to execute with a flag on the play. Vick throwing downfield, and it's incomplete. He turned around to Deshaun Jackson. And it falls incomplete with 18 seconds to go. We wait on the flag.
Offside. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That was that scramble drill, Scott, where if Mike Vick starts to scramble, one guy goes deep, one guy goes short. Well, Deshaun turned around. He was wide open to start with. There's Deshaun sitting wide open right at the sideline. You see, that's where that play was supposed to go.
Big pressure coming. And Vick in trouble, gets sacked. Big pressure around the outside. And the sack for Wes Horton, the rookie out of USC.
Lane Johnson beaten around the corner that time. First time I've seen him get beat. Actually got a little overextended. His hands got knocked down, and that was what we haven't seen from him in basically 3/4 of play.
Rookie against rookie on that outside, and now you got 13 seconds left in the half, but no timeout to take.
Well, what you try to do is get enough yards for this first down, and if you have to kill the timeout, you do, and you have another play. Which what you'd like to do is get a quick out to the outside, 10 yards for a first down, and not have to use the timeout.
That's it on the timeouts. That one was the last. Let's see what they've got in the bag here.
There it is to the outside. Get the first down and get out of bounds.
That's exactly what Polk does. He doesn't get the first down.
He's a little careless running out of bounds.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. Mike Vick, perfect. Remember the one incompletion, there was a defensive penalty on it, so that doesn't count. You still have a play to the outside here where you can pick up 12 to 15 yards and get out of bounds and have plenty of room and time for Alex Henry to come on and try a field goal.
7 seconds left in the half. A lot of that time is going to go away. And Vick throwing it deep down the field into traffic is going to have it picked off. And now Mutterland, who's great at doing this, going to try to return it. As he took a lateral, but he's dropped by Jackson. Josh Norman the interception, and that will do it for the first half. By and large, the 14 points doesn't tell the story. A very good offensive first half for the Eagles. And they go into the dressing room at the break with the lead. Halftime here at Lincoln Financial Field. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Sports Authority. By and large, a very good half for Michael Vick and the offense. Wonder if he'll sleep a little bit better tonight. The Eagles lead it by a score of 14-6. Let's take it down to Dave Spadaro.
Scott, maybe it's a good night from your perspective, but I would tell you that Chip Kelly doesn't care about 257 yards, and 14 points in the first half is not enough. He was seething coming off the field, unhappy about the turnovers, very displeased about the sack late that ruined the last-minute drive there. Happy with the defense and the tackling, but overall, too many yards, too many points on the field. Matt Barkley gets the start at quarterback in quarter number 3.
Yeah, Dave, I would expect that message from Chip. I mean, he was leading college football in scoring for a reason. Like, there is no substitute for touchdowns. Turnovers don't get it done. His quarterbacks he's never had a quarterback in 6 years at Oregon, Scott, ever throw 10 interceptions in a season. So coaching Matt Barkley up right now about probably on the first couple of plays that he's going to call, a couple of concepts that he has for him. Matt Barkley played 33 snaps in last week's games against the Patriots. One of those drives in for a touchdown and a 2-point conversion for Matt.
Brandon Boykin back deep to take the Graham Gano kick as the Eagles will get the football first to begin the second half. And Gano, another bomb. He's 2-3 yards past the end of the end zone. And Barkley will get an opportunity to start from his own 20-yard line.
He'll play with the second-team offensive line. Damaris Johnson coming in at wide receiver. Right there, a signal from Matt Barkley about personnel group. Clay Harbor along with Zach Ertz in there at the tight end spots.
Barkley had one very effective drive. One of the receivers that he hooked up with last week, Greg Salas, to the near side. It was incomplete. Polk kind of got blown up on the play by Josh Norman. As he arrived just when the ball did, it falls incomplete.
I mean, if there's one knock on Matt Barkley, it's just arm speed and velocity. And you see a little example getting the ball to the outside to Polk.
Second down at 10. They set it up on the outside. There goes Johnson for a first down across the 35. 15 yards on the pickup. Nicely conceived play to the outside.
Well, it is. I mean, it's just a wide receiver screen, and he gets two tight ends out here blocking for him, leading the interference. So Clay Harbor and Zach Ertz both get their blocks. And if you're going to play in this offense, if you're a receiver, tight end or wide receiver, you're going to block in this offense.
Barkley out of the shotgun. And there's Salas for another first down up near midfield. The offense moving the football again.
One thing about Matt Barkley is he's very decisive. He sees the field, all of the field, very, very well. And he's able to go from his first read to his second about as well as any young quarterback can.
For better than 12,000 yards in his college career. Floating one down there, and it's taken down by Ertz for a first down. Ertz down to the Carolina 30.
This is what Chip Kelly wants to see. Right there. The offense moving and clicking. Reception after reception. Same personnel grouping. All right, two tight ends, two receivers, and a back. But they're just lined up in different places. And they're all looking to the sideline. Now they got the play.
The speed of this offense is amazing.
It is.
And Johnson blown up on the outside. That's great anticipation from Haruki Nakamura.
Now, Haruki Nakamura came in and made that play. But you can expect right now, okay, that you're going to fake that screen and then go deep behind it. Like, Chip sees that. He sees the way they're reading and reacting to it. And then there's going to be a fake there, and there's going to go downtown. Like, there's a play that comes off a play that comes off a play. There's always an option.
On second down, Polk trying to find the corner. And that is the definition of upended by Jason Williams. Third down coming up. And we are joined now by Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie. Good to see you.
Baldy. Jeffrey, it's good to see you. And I can just tell you're excited. I mean, you're watching this, and you're watching it almost like a fan right here. I mean, you're seeing something that we haven't seen in the NFL.
You know, it's this way at practice, but it's nice to see it in the games. It's a lot more. It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, you get the feeling that we're just seeing the very beginning of this.
We're not showing too much, and Chip doesn't want to show too much, but you got to play some fast because you're going to play that way, and you got to practice it in games.
Jeffrey, you've been around for 8 months now.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of knew what you were getting, but now that he's been in the building, what's it like on a daily basis talking football and being around the operations with Chip Kelly?
Well, nice kick.
You know, just missed it as he slid it off to the right side. We're going to have to take a break off that field goal miss, but we'll be back with more with Jeffrey Lurie as we continue here in third quarter action from Lincoln Financial Field. The Eagles on top by 8. Eagles football presented by Sports Authority, and the Eagles on top by a 14-6 score, joined by the chairman and CEO of the Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie. kind enough to stay along with us for another set here. And obviously, just watching your face while we're watching here, you're just enjoying what you're seeing and the energy that's out there on the field right now.
Well, you know, I got to say, once the day happened where Chip Kelly entered the building, it's been like a blur. And I think that's the way his offense and he wants his defense to play too. But it's a brain blur because you're attacking football 24 hours a day and trying to figure out what can make you great. And Chip brings something very special. And, you know, it was we had researched him quite a bit, but until you really get together and spend hour after hour and now day after day, you can't appreciate how bright, dynamic. It's not about just offense. It's about how to build a championship team and do it the right way. And it takes some time to get the players to adapt to exactly what he wants to do in terms of personnel. But it's brilliant, and it's going to take the NFL by storm.
After the first down by Poole, Carolina now with Derek Anderson in at quarterback. And Poole wrapped up on the play, not going anywhere this time, a loss of a couple.
Vinny Curry. So, Jeffrey, there's an old cliche that, you know, repetition is the mother of invention.
Right.
And anybody that's been out to practice, and you've had a lot of open practices in the link and out at NovaCare, they've had a chance to see how many plays they practice in any drill that they do.
You know, there's a method to the madness, which is simplicity, repetition in such volume that it becomes natural. And you see it in other sports, in the NBA, and you see it in Vince Lombardi's offense, Bill Walsh's offense. You hope you have something that's successful, but it doesn't matter if they know what you're about to do. It's that you do it perfectly. And then he's all about execution and choosing the right selection of plays to match the weakness of the defense that's apparent. And he simplifies the game, but it's really sharp.
Jeffrey, the one concern that a lot of people had, hiring a guy that had only coached in college and then making that jump to the NFL, we've all know the names that guys have done it. What kind of concerns did you have just in that department?
You know, I think there's an initial concern before you research Chip Kelly, and then once you find out exactly what kind of leader and thinker he is and how he brings people together, it's not a gimmick situation. It's not a one-shot situation where you're building something quickly and it fizzles. He's got a sense of what it takes to build a program. Did it at University of Oregon, but his approach to how football can be played at this level is very, very well prepared and thought out. Otherwise, I would be worried. You know.
Back-to-back catches by Geddes has Carolina now down to the 16-yard line. And Poole, the lone setback behind Anderson on first down. And right through the middle, not a whole lot there, maybe a pickup of about a yard. You take a look at it. We were talking earlier. We talked with Michael Vick earlier this week, and he said, you know, guys, I can't sleep. Now, you figure that's because he's concerned. It's because he says he's so excited about coming in the next day. And in talking to individual players about that, each one of them is not only excited about what they see now, but where this is headed.
I think they all see where it's headed. They know the effectiveness it can be. And he also brings everybody to a common mission. I can't begin to tell you how important that is. It's not just chemistry, it's understanding what it takes to prepare for peak performance and bring everyone together around the thought of what it takes to be great.
Nice play by Boykin stepping in front of Geddes, and Geddes turned into a defender right there, knocking the football away, brings up third down.
You know, there's a sense with Chip that if you will just listen to him and understand where he's coming from, he will give you a chance to be great. And that's all a player can ask. And he really emphasizes the strengths of every player and builds his team, I think, around what players can do, not what they can't do.
And it's apparent last week, Jeffrey, when the New England Patriots were in town for the 3 days of scrimmage in the game, the respect that Bill Belichick had for Chip and the things and the methods that he's using.
Well, there's no question. Bill has, you know, of course, spent time at Oregon and with Chip last year, the year before. And there's a mutual respect because Bill Belichick's one of the brightest guys in the NFL. One of the things that Howie, Don, myself, we really wanted was this was the first time we were out to look for a head coach in 14 years. We wanted to go for greatness. We wanted to find someone who had a chance to be great. There's no guarantee. We don't know where this is going to go. We're optimistic, but we wanted to take the risk of choosing for greatness. Someone really bright, someone who is cutting edge.
Thinker.
Yeah, and not afraid of trying things and relating well to players and everybody. You got to take a chance. There's 32 teams. You got to try to be bold.
Well, good luck with it again. Thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate it.
Jeffrey, we enjoyed it, man.
Great.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Take care.
Time out on the field right now after the field goal by Gano as we continue in the third quarter when we come back. Download NFL Mobile and watch live NFL games on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights, and every touchdown from every game on Sunday afternoons with NFL Red Zone. Plus, get all the Eagles news, stats, and more with live streaming NFL Network 24/7, only from Verizon.
It's two guys that had a good game tonight. Shady and Mike Vick playing together. Shady really, his cutting was superb along with his catches and checkdowns out of the backfield. Benny Logan having a good game so far.
Lead trimmed to 5. Boykin going to try to return one. Gano's been hitting him through the end zone, but Lineberry only gets it to the 2. And look at that move by Boykin to the outside. And a big return out across the 40-yard line.
Well, we've seen an improvement in special teams under Dave Phipp in the first game and a half already. This is Brandon Boykin. All the routes going this way, and then Boykin sees the cutback, almost like a running back seeing the back door. That's the safety on the play. He beats him clean. So you start the drive beyond the 40-yard line, the percentage of scoring goes way up. Brandon Boykin trying to win that job as the kickoff returner here this year.
Barkley works with Felix Jones in the backfield and Salas in motion. That throw, just a miscommunication it looked like for where Barkley was throwing and where Salas was sitting down.
Scott, at the end of the 2011 season, when Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin were seniors, Matt Barkley was right there with him. Now, he decided to stay for a senior year last year, but after 2011, you could have made a case that Matt Barkley would have been the third quarterback and the third player taken in that draft.
Well, gets an opportunity to show his wares here, and you see where things are in terms of what this offense wants to do. I don't think that they're putting a whole lot of pressure on him to be the guy right now, but they do want to see what it is that he's capable of doing. And you and I talked about he's having an awful lot of fun out there doing it.
Well, I think he's enjoying this offense. He didn't play in this style of offense at USC. It was a real traditional pro-style set.
That's a completion. We'll see about the flag as Derek Carrier takes it down the near sideline all the way down to the 18-yard line. We await the call from the official.
Illegal formation. Offense. Not enough men on the line. Number 64 was off the line. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Matt Tobin, the rookie out of Iowa State, was not on the line of scrimmage, and that erases a big game. So now it's going to be a third down and 12. And Felix Jones in the backfield with 3 receivers to choose from for Matt Barkley. And behind the intended receiver Carrier, Wes Horton again providing pressure right in on Barkley as he let that one go. And for the first time tonight, the Eagles are going to be forced to punt the football away.
Well, it's really mistakes. I mean, Matt Barkley played well in the drive. Got the ball to Carrier down the field, but Matt Copeland not up on the line of scrimmage. So, again, the Eagles are hurting their offense and the chance for points because of their own errors.
So Brad Wing, the rookie out of LSU, who grew up playing Aussie rules football in Melbourne, Australia, and he hits a beauty. Barner has the call for the fair catch, and he does just outside the 20-yard line. 41 yards on the punt, no return. Just about midway through the third quarter, and a 5-point lead for the Eagles. AAA has Eagles fans covered, whether it's travel planning, discounts, or roadside assistance. AAA is there for you. Visit AAA.com/Eagles.
Quarterbacks sitting down with Bill Laser, the quarterback coach, taking a look at the pictures, looking at the defenses,
All right, so for somebody who's not been on an NFL sideline, what is he seeing there right now?
Well, that's what you call the all 22. All 22 players on the field can be seen. And so they're looking at the end zone and sideline of every play of where the defense deployed to. Linebackers, where they went, what coverage they were in. And so you can see everything that happened on the previous series in that series of pictures.
And it's a quarterback's job then to process that so that he can put it into effect next time out on the field.
No question about it. And so Mike Vick is looking at it because he can learn from it. Bill Lazor, the quarterback coach there, is kind of instructing Matt about what to anticipate in the next series when they're shown a particular look. So, like, really, the teaching never really ends, and it never stops.
Well, you got a head coach who football never stops for him. Antonio Dixon now in the middle of the defensive line.
Yeah, it was first action for Antonio Dixon this preseason.
Go, Brandon.
Kenyon Barner in the game now. He gets his first opportunity to carry the football. He's taken down by Emmanuel Acho out at about the 28-yard line after a pickup of 2.
And for Kenyon Barner, I mean, he played his 4 years at Oregon under Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was talking about him to me the other day, comparing him to LaMichael James, who now plays for the San Francisco 49ers, saying that Barner was a guy that did exactly what he was coached to do. He didn't freelance. If it was 4 yards to get in the middle of the line, he got the 4 yards. And when there was a big play to be gotten, he was able to bounce it outside and do that with tremendous speed.
And now whistles and a flag.
Delay a game against the defense, number 27. A non-football act causing an offensive player to false start. It's a 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, all right, got to know what the non-football act was.
Well, I mean, here's Brandon Hughes on the outside, so that's who the infraction's on. Oh,
that's a football act.
He looked like he was ready to. Hey, but he was kind of a veteran move. Like, I'm just going to go backpedal here. I don't know. I mean, that's a chippy call to me.
Unless you're playing like crab soccer, when else do you? That's a football act.
Well, I don't know what crab soccer is.
All right.
But I think that, he was trying to jerk him off sides. Now there's a chance to make a play.
Went long trying to find Geddes, who had a couple of catches on that last drive and just a little bit out of his reach.
Brandon Hughes is the guy that picked up off the practice squad of the New York Giants 2 years ago. He's been really a utility player, special team player, a backup at corner. He's fighting to earn a spot on the team this year. You can see, like,
that's a football act.
Is that crab soccer? Is that what that is?
Got to get you into that game sometime.
You have to explain that one to me.
Haven't played it since 2nd grade.
I like Brandon Hughes up here challenging the receiver on this 3rd down.
Got to get it out to the 36. Anderson with pressure coming. And he short arms it again. Curry providing the pressure right up the middle. And Anderson never had time to set his feet.
I'll tell you, this is Vinny Curry now, 2 games in a row, being able to pressure the quarterback inside right now. He's going to come up the field. Really, I mean, beats the right guard clean and the center. And we've seen quite a few quarterback hits from Vinny Curry in these first 2 games. He's got a good knack to rush, actually, from the inside as well as from the outside.
Jordan Gay punting it away to Jordan Poyer, the rookie out of Oregon State. Not a whole lot of room to operate, and he is taken down on the play by Anderson Russell. And the Eagles take over in their own end.
It's 14-9. The Eagles lead the Carolina Panthers. I'm Dave Spadaro here with Eagles president Don Smolenski. Everybody's bouncing and jumping around here at Lincoln Financial Field, Don.
It's all part of the new energy.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, the new practices, open practices here. There's another one on Saturday at Lincoln Financial Field. How have the fans responded to that?
It's been awesome. I mean, the 3 practices we've had, we're in excess of 80,000 people who have come. A lot of people were able to come to the stadium for the first time, and the chance to see the team up close. I think it's been a very festive atmosphere. The music and the practice pace. I think it's been a lot of fun.
New things happening here at Lincoln Financial Field, massive revitalization program. What can the fans look forward to?
Yeah, it seems like we've been going non-stop since we completed the solar project in the winter in January. And then now we've been working on the renovations. We've widened all of the gates to be able to get fans in more quickly. After this game tonight, beginning tomorrow, we're going to start installing some of the graphics and the graphical images that we've shown everybody throughout the building. And tonight is the second night that we've tested the new wireless system. And so far, it's been really great.
Great times here at Lincoln Financial Field, Don.
A lot of fun.
Great to have you. Thanks, Don. Guys, back to you.
Felix Jones taken down on the play. Nice open field tackle by rookie Melvin White. And a third down coming up now.
Michael Romero out at right tackle now, getting his first action tonight.
Barkley with a little bit of time, and Salas comes back to the quarterback nicely as he hauls it in for a first down.
That's nice timing on that throw and catch. Salas came back to the football here and took it away from the defender. But Barkley sees it. Nice job by Salas, who's made a number of big catches in practice and in games right now.
Knowing where you are in terms of wide receiver depth and the injuries that you've had, I've got to imagine that Salas is in a position where he might have a shot to make this squad.
I agree with you, Scott. I think there's 4 that are locked in.
False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's on Matt Tennant. But the receiver situation right now, you could say that Deshaun Jackson, Riley Cooper, Jason Avant, Damaris Johnson are all in. And I think there's a lot of competition now for that 5th spot and maybe a 6th spot. I mean, maybe Clay Harbor is a hybrid receiver tight end on this roster.
That throw off the hands of Damaris Johnson falls incomplete. But here's the wide receivers that you're talking about on that current roster, and because of the fact that you've got Ben and Macklin out for the season, that gives opportunity to some of those guys that you're seeing there.
Yeah, and this guy at the bottom, Jeff Mayle, right here. I mean, he played for Chip 4 years at the University of Oregon. They just traded with the Houston Texans for him this week. All-time leading receiver at Oregon, 77 catches his last year there.
This is more time than you normally see taken at the line as the play clock is down under 5. And Barkley still didn't like it. So for the second time tonight, you get a quarterback calling a timeout with something that he didn't like. And that does not make the head coach a very happy man. Trying to get that offensive rhythm back that they had in the first half. So far it's been about the defense tonight, and the Eagles with a 5-point lead. Sports Authority is proud to be the official sporting goods retailer of the Philadelphia Eagles. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
Well, I've seen the Eagles take 2 timeouts tonight based on some confusion. Now, I saw some in practice the other day. They're installing a lot more offense.
Doesn't it stand to reason that that could happen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is all new, and you're looking at the sideline, trying to get your signals, and players are playing different positions. You need to play games sometimes just to iron some of these bugs out.
Bowles and Vick both with a good night. Barkley trying to cash in on his side. And how about that? Felix Jones staying alive, keeping the feet moving as he gets it out across the 45 before DJ Campbell brings him down.
You know, when Felix Jones was in college at Arkansas, they ran a lot of read option with Darren McFadden was there, Peyton Hillis. They ran Wildcat with Felix Jones, so he's had, you know, some familiarity with this whole read option from the running back position.
Third down. And Barkley throwing behind brings up 4th down. Let's go down to Dave Spadaro.
You know, guys, when the Eagles signed Felix Jones, everybody kind of assumed that he would fit in as either the 2nd or 3rd back, not really showing a lot of spring in his legs in this training camp preseason period. Very, very much on the bubble to make this roster.
Now we'll find out. Brad Wing now ready to kick it away. And once again, it is Barner back deep to take the punt. Has another high kick. And Barner with a muff, but it is picked up. A heads-up play by Anderson Russell to keep it alive after a lot of hang time on the second kick of the night for Brad Wing.
Well, not just good hang time, but good coverage. Getting down there. No man ran into him. So we're seeing good special teams play all the way around from the Eagles in the return game and the coverage. And the quickest way to turn your team around when you know that you've got to upgrade the talent on your team is special teams. There's no reason why teams can't make that jump. You should never lose a game because of bad special teams play, and you should always try to win 2 games because of your special teams in a season.
I'll tell you what, when you got a 4.9 hang time on your punt, that's a good way to start.
Good way to get down there and cover it.
First down, and Barner, not a whole lot of room to operate, maybe a half yard. Vinny Curry again, very active along the inside as he was in the second half of the New England game.
I'll tell you, anytime we're up here and we're calling a defensive tackle's name as much as we have with Vinny Curry, that's a good sign. Because if it's showing up here, it's showing up in the film room within the team each day.
Pride in Neptune, New Jersey. Eric Anderson now in his 9th year as an NFL quarterback. Look at it, second down and long out of the shotgun. And the completion to David Geddes. Tried to get back up and run with it. He's still going to be a couple of yards shy of the first down.
So this third down here is a mentality for teams trying to turn their defense around and become better. And it doesn't matter if it's a third quarter of a preseason game or not. The idea is to create a mentality of getting off the field on third down. And each guy has to take that upon themselves to really feel that crunch. Make sure that you can stop them and force the punt.
You can see by the numbers they've done a good job of it all night tonight. A third down and short now. Play action for Anderson, and they've got the first down and more. Richie Brockle, the tight end, out across the 25-yard line to the 29.
You're just getting him right out into the flat. Looked like an assignment error, possibly by Emmanuel Acho, the linebacker. I mean, somebody, both linebackers have the backs in the backfield, so when yours comes out, you got to keep your eyes on him. You can't lose him.
13th first down of the night for Carolina. The Eagles, for their part, have 21. Anderson deep down the middle. What a catch by Geddes. And still running in the Eagles' territory. He's taken down the 48-yard line by Kurt Coleman.
That was a heck of a catch right in front of the safety, the rookie, Earl Wolf. Brandon Hughes has him. He turns him over now.
Oof, that ball was by him.
Yeah, that's sticky fingers. But still, the coverage seems awfully loose. I mean, nobody hit him for another 15 yards after he caught the ball. They like to tighten that area up.
Geddes spent all of 2011 on injured reserve with an ACL, and then a hamstring injury limited him to 2 games last year. And now you got motion, and Brandon Williams, the tight end, was moving when no one else was.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So the way the communication works is Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator, is upstairs in his booth. And then he signals the play to Rick Minner, the linebacker coach, who then signals them in with the hand signals, and they have cards as well. And so that's really the transmission. There's Rick Minner, longtime head coach of the University of Cincinnati. Right here, Rick Minner.
On first down. Nowhere to go. That's great play straight down the line of scrimmage by Brandon Graham. And a loss of about a half yard on the carry by Barner.
Now that will excite, Rick Minner and Billy Davis, because really on this play, I mean, here's Brandon Graham. He's a stand-up outside linebacker. He sheds the block. Now Brandon Graham has the ability to rush the passer. He can crush the pocket, but can he play a stand-up outside linebacker, set the edge, and play the run like that? That's the challenge for Brandon Graham. I mean, can he jump? Can he drop into coverage and cover running backs and tight ends in this league right now? There he is again on the outside.
They're coming for Anderson, setting up the screen, and once again, well played. Jamar Chaney was right there and did not allow Barner to even get started after the catch.
Well, there was a breakdown in their protection because the outside linebacker came free. and just chased him hard. And there he comes. So he forces Derek Anderson, who's not real mobile, out. That's Chris McCoy.
The third quarter.
And so we've come to the end of the third quarter in this one, in a game that has been about defense. The Eagles were looking for a defensive improvement, and they have gotten it here tonight. Fans have enjoyed what they've seen so far. 3 down and 1 to go here at Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles football presented by Sports Authority as we get set to start the fourth quarter with the Eagles on top 14 tonight. Let's take it down to Dave Spadaro.
Well, Scott, a couple of injuries to note. Emil Iguanagu, tight end, out with a head injury. Curtis Marsh, trying to make this team as a cornerback, out with a hand injury. Back to you.
Well, so far, not a whole lot in terms of injuries in this game, but it has been a difficult injury preseason for the Eagles as some key players have gone down. Big third down here, third down and long. 15 yards to go for the Carolina offense as we open the fourth quarter. And again, they are coming hard after Derek Anderson. That is going to be a completed pass for a loss. Don't see that every day.
No, but it was good pressure by Brandon Graham. Again, chasing Derek Anderson out of the pocket and really creating on the outside. You could just see them. They're just playing the sticks, keeping everything underneath them. Good finish by Jordan Poyer. Talented rookie out of Oregon State, Vinnie Curry. Another good series.
Jordan Gay will punt it away. Nick Miller back deep to receive. Kind of a twisting kick, and Miller calls immediately for the fair catch. He might have had a little room to bring that back, but instead, the Eagles will take over at their own 19-yard line on the 36-yard punt.
So Barkley giving you the signal to huddle up, and here's the remaining preseason schedule. We'll be in Jacksonville next Saturday.
Think it might be warm there?
Well, it's going to test their conditioning. I mean, that's really the dress rehearsal in preseason for teams. So you play down in Jacksonville, that humidity. It's a good test. See where your conditioning is getting ready for the season.
Our conditioning too.
We'll be tested.
Ground game that worked so well in the first half, not as strong here in the second as Felix Jones is dunked by DJ Moore. No gain on the play.
Well, there's no Shady McCoy out there either to make people miss.
He looked like he was ready to go right now.
Man, he was sharp.
And Barkley throwing. Wow. Completed. Oh, they're saying that Harbour didn't have it as he came down and hit the ground, and he wasn't arguing, so.
Well, let's take a look. Barkley put it on his fingertips, yeah. Good job of just trapping it, but just missed. And Clay Harbor's a guy, interesting prospect, was never given any kind of a scholarship coming out of college or out of high school. Went to Missouri State, was a phenom at the combine, had a vertical jump of 40 inches and 4.6 40 and all those kind of great measurables, and that's what got him drafted here by the Eagles. He's got great speed.
Big overload blitz coming on Barkley as he runs away from it and throws. It is caught. Juggling catch, and a nice one by Johnson, but well short of the first down. DJ Moore again right there.
We haven't seen a lot of that in the preseason from the Eagles, 3 and out like that. You've seen, normally most of these quarterbacks have been able to move the football at least a first down. But really 2 negative plays in a row, a loss on first down, the run, and then an incompletion. Set up that 3rd and long.
So Brad Wing again to punt it away to Barner. Now Carolina has called for a timeout.
Timeout. Carolina.
Scott, I was talking to Chip this week about special teams because I've never seen a team practice special teams more in my life than what Chip does. And he said that he was told a story about the great Jerry Rice when he was in the 49ers in the prime of his career, on his way to the Hall of Fame and the world's all-time best receiver. He used to go to special teams meetings every day to let everybody know on the team that Jerry Rice, am going. These meetings are important. And so Chip feels important that he needs to be in every one of these meetings, supervising it, emphasizing how important field position is in the game of football. And I think it's been paying off so far.
That's another big-time hang-time punt. Barner, little tentative, but puts the arm up and calls for the fair catch. Carolina will once again take it over. It's a field position game here. The second preseason game of the year with 13:04 to go. Fans, check out the Bud Light Eagles Nest at Lincoln Financial Field. Go to PhiladelphiaEagles.com for more info on how you can score tickets to an Eagles home game. Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
You know, Scott, when you think about the Eagles getting ready for their season right now, I mean, they open up with 3 games in 11 days. I mean, nobody else in this league. And then they go on the road for 3 straight games. So, you know, the schedule makers didn't do them any favors here. But, you know, I mean, they go to Washington that Monday night, and they come back in the first home game here against the San Diego Chargers, who are trying to rebuild their program right now. You just hope that, you know, conditioning-wise and depth-wise, they're ready for those 3 games in the first 11 days.
That's a rough stretch that they've got to go through in the early part of the year. And that 3-game road trip, again, that's something that you take a look at. It just doesn't happen a whole lot in the NFL.
No, they try to avoid it. They try to break it up as much as they can because it's never easy on anybody. It's always a short week. You know, it would be interesting to see what Chip does when he goes to Denver early on. If he leaves on a Friday, he leaves on a Saturday.
And Barner straight through the middle, out to about the 33. Here's your look at the schedule.
Yeah, you know, they play the AFC West this year, 4 teams. So you play San Diego in their home opener.
3 in a row.
And then that Thursday in a short week, Andy Reid comes back, along with Donovan McNabb, you know, retiring his number 5 here in a big ceremony. And then you got to go out there and see maybe the best offense in all of football. Peyton Manning and Wes Welker and that whole group up there at Mile High, which is always a tough place to play. Oh, good play.
That's a great play.
Wow, that's Earl Wolf.
Swarming defense, and Earl Wolf, a lot of people like what they see out of the rookie 5th-round draft choice out of NC State. That's why.
Wow, this is a tremendous play here by Wolf. Coming up, forcing it, taking the fullback on, and then spinning out, and then taking the ball carrier down. That's the type of aggressiveness that I think all Eagle fans want to see from their safeties. Something that has been missing in Philadelphia really since Brian Dawkins was here.
Jimmy Clausen at quarterback now for Carolina. 3rd down. And firing complete. David Geddes having himself a fine second half. It's going to be good for 1st down yardage. Out to the 47.
Earl Wolf and Brandon Hughes on the coverage over there. Earl Wolf's mother is from Northeast Philadelphia. Here's Brandon Hughes working on Geddes. See a good route that time, beating Hughes.
Geddes a big receiver. 5 catches for 82 yards for Geddes here in this second half. Now Clausen throwing a deep ball. And it's incomplete. That's good coverage. Straight down that far sideline by Eddie Whitley at the corner.
It's great coverage. This man all the way. I mean, they run this. This is a little stop and go, stutter and go. He's in perfect position. He'll look back when the receiver looks up for the ball. So Whitley shows a little bit of ability to cover man-to-man down the field.
Whitley out of Virginia Tech. Started playing football after a girl beat him in karate when he was a kid.
Yeah, that got him going, huh? That'll humble you. There he is involved in that tackle. Jake Knott at the bottom of that pile. Whitley 2 plays in a row. 1 down the field in coverage and then involved in the action. Knott gets the first hit, but Whitley finishes it off. And really the Eagles came out tonight. They only had 5 inside linebackers. And so Jake Knott's playing the whole second half here tonight. And they're very high on him. Good player at Iowa State, but had a bad shoulder his senior year, had to have surgery.
Carolina just 4 out of 12 on 3rd down conversions tonight. This is a 3rd and 8. Clausen feels the pressure coming, and down he goes. He hasn't taken a regular season snap in 2 years, and I'm sure he doesn't miss that.
Well, it's going to be Everett Brown coming off the corner. Knott's coming on the outside. 6-man pressure. You get 6-man pressure, you better get to that quarterback. Good man-to-man coverage behind it. A pretty good meeting at the quarterback.
So once again, it is Miller back to take the punt from Jordan Gay, the rookie, trying to make this Carolina Panthers team. And a little bit of room to run on the return for Miller as he gets it out to the 29. 42 yards on the punt, 10 yards on the return. Hey, if you want to be a gunner in the NFL, this is what life is like.
Yeah, Jordan Poyer just put him down. But you know what? You got to keep getting up, get involved. Never stay on the ground.
You know, I hear people say, well, you want to get X amount of snaps. I want to get as many snaps as it takes for us to win the game. That's it. You know, we didn't lead the country in college in snaps, but one of the reasons we didn't is we were up in every game.
Right.
So we milked the clock really, really well. We're snapping the ball with 2 seconds on the play clock.
Well, they're up here with 10:24 to go. Certainly very early to think about killing the clock in this game, but an interesting point of view right there from Chip Kelly, who we have been told cares more than anything else about getting the number of plays run that he wants.
Yeah, I mean, look, they ran 86 plays last week for 460 yards. They didn't win the game. You know, so it's really, I mean, numbers and stats can kind of do anything. Chip's about winning, and he has a particular style, the way he wants to do it. Dennis Dixon in there, his former Oregon Duck quarterback in 2007, out there running the offense for the Eagles now.
And catch made by Miller out across the 35-yard line here at the 36.
Every quarterback that Chip Kelly has coached in his 6 years at Oregon, and then going back to New Hampshire when he had the Division III Player of the Year, has improved as soon as he started coaching. Their numbers, their turnovers went down, the numbers went up, the touchdowns went up. Every quarterback has improved.
Dixon, the keeper, and slides his way into a first down to keep the clock running and keep the chains moving forward.
And I would suggest for any quarterback that plays for the Eagles this year to learn how to do that. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to turn the corner and protect yourself with the slide and get down. And use the rules that the NFL has instilled to protect the quarterback, including Mike Vick, you know, including Nick Foles. I remember Matt Barkley, who was ever out there, they should learn how to do that.
Man in motion is Miller. And back to the ground, and not a whole lot there for Matthew Tucker. Anderson Russell came in and blew the play up for a loss of a yard.
Well, they got the backup second line in there. Julian Vandervelde in there. Matt Tennant, Bamiro. These guys all fighting for backup spots right now. None of them really have much experience in this league. So all this time right now in this fourth quarter are valuable for them.
Dixon working out of the shotgun. A little bit high, but going up to get it is Nick Miller. And yardage out to the 48-yard line is going to leave him about 4 yards shy of the first down.
I think, you know, when we go down to Jacksonville next Saturday, it'll be interesting in that heat and the humidity in Jacksonville to see what the tempo of the Eagles running their offense does to the Jaguars. Even though they practice it every day, if you haven't gone against teams that are trying to run as many plays as the Eagles, it can really wear you down quickly.
On third down, Tucker with the run and a first down.
I would put your head down and push the pile like that. This is what Matthew Tucker did at TCU for 4 years. Once he sees the hole here, now put the head down, protect the football. Yeah. Bowl him over. Yeah, just knocking Carolina blue jerseys out of the way.
So a time-consuming, methodical drive now for the offense.
All right, pointing out the Mike linebacker on the play, center and quarterback.
And Dixon gets hit from behind, and a saving grab of a football that was running around. Matt Tobin ends up coming down with it.
Well, here's Matt Tobin over at left tackle. Now he has a little trouble with the little rush in the corner. He gets beat inside. And that's to the backside of Dennis Dixon. And so Dixon can't feel him and the ball gets knocked out. Now, they haven't had that happen too many times to any quarterback so far in preseason, Scott, which is a good sign. But that's the quickest route to the quarterback, is the inside move. You always got to take that away first.
Clock continues to run with 6:50 to go in the ball game. Second down and long now. And Dixon keeping it himself again, this time trying to find that outside lane and get some of it back before Melvin White takes him down. It'll be third down coming up.
Well, you know, that's all Dennis Dixon is reading is the outside defensive end on this play. And that's really Viviani Moma out there blocking. He's got to do a better job of staying in front of his man and giving Dennis Dixon a chance to go wherever he wants to go. You know, one of the reasons why Moma is here, he's 6'8", just a huge body out there, wide receiver.
So third down, they've got to get it to the 34-yard line to keep the drive going. A lot of time. And a completed pass to Will Shaw, the rookie tight end, but it's going to be a good 6 yards shy of the first down. And not in field goal range. So the Eagles will be looking to punt it away and trying to figure out a way to find a corner right now and bury Carolina deep in their own end.
Well, the one thing that Donnie Jones, the 10-year veteran punter that's here, this is wing, of course, but he's been very good at this part of the field of dropping the ball inside the 20. I mean, he's averaged over 20 kicks a year, over 30 kicks a year. They'll put the ball inside the 20-yard line, making him go a longer field.
Brad Wing has looked good punting the football in this game. Finds the spot again. If the coverage is there, they are. He buries him inside the 10.
That's exactly what you want from your punter. Dropping it inside the 10-yard line, that's a tremendous job.
And a long field to go for Carolina with 5:09 left. Feel like you're part of the team with the 2013 line of Nike sideline gear. Shop the great selection of Nike gear at Eagles Pro Shops in Cherry Hill, Lancaster, and at Lincoln Financial Field, or shop online at PhiladelphiaEagles.com. Let's take it down to Dave Spadaro.
Well, guys, one of the interesting things on the sidelines is how the Eagles defense gets its signs. You can see all the Philly icons where they're being signaled in from the sidelines. Now, Bill Davis is up in the box, but these are defensive signals. Sometimes they are disguises. Sometimes they are the alignments. Every player looks over at a color, a number, or in this case, a Philly icon. Vince Papale, Ron Jaworski, a cheesesteak. I mean, does it get any better than that?
Does it get any more Philly than that is the best question out there, yeah.
Yeah, the Liberty Bell. I saw the Liberty Bell there. Of course, there's a lot of dummy signals there. I mean, if you're trying to steal signs from the Eagles, it's good luck trying to decipher. You're going to have to be a Mensa student to try to figure it out.
Well, Carolina now down inside their 10-yard line and trailing by 5. Armand Smith, second-year running back, taken down by Emmanuel Acho as we cross 5 minutes left to go.
It's a lot easier to play defense when the offense starts inside the 10-yard line. And it's been a consistent factor now in 2 games. With the Eagles, whether it's kickoff coverage or punt coverage, in 2 games now, done a good job of putting the opponent deep in their territory. Cole Anderson at safety right now. Acho at middle linebacker.
And the throw to the near side. Acho missed on the tackle as Brandon Williams hauls it in. Still going to be a good 3 yards shy of the first down.
All right, so they're trying to like a little man beater there, a little pick on the outside. But what I like is seeing Walker there from the defensive tackle position, doubling back and getting to the ball. A lot of help on the tackle. It's one way to become a better tackling team is to get more guys to the ball.
Under 4 minutes to play. A big third down of this one, a long 3. Boston out of the shotgun. Blitz coming. And firing incomplete. He sailed it over the head of Brenton Burson, his receiver, out near the 30-yard line, and that stops the clock with 3:47 to go. straight on down the line with every unit that's been out there tonight, Brian. You've got a defense that is held on third down.
Yep. And it's, that's the money down in the league. It's, it's no secret there that you got to play. It's an attitude, getting off the field on third down. The Eagles were not good last year in that department. Gave up far too many plays on third down.
Jordan Gay, it's straight up in the air. And Miller is going to let it drop as the Eagles will take the ball over in Carolina territory. You're talking about winning and losing games. The job right now is to kill the clock. That clock says there's 3:39 left to go.
Eagles preseason football is presented by Sports Authority, official sporting goods retailer of the Philadelphia Eagles. AAA, proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. NRG, the power to change life. Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals, the official hospital of the Philadelphia Eagles. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%. Visit geico.com.
Yeah, beautiful night and a look at Center City here in Philadelphia. Quarterback comparison looks pretty good too. Take a look at the top two. Foles started the game, 6 out of 8, a rushing touchdown, a costly interception that cost them on the drive previously. Michael Vick looked marvelous tonight. The interception came on a desperation toss as the clock ran out at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and for the second week in a row, the Eagles are going to get all 5 quarterbacks in the preseason game. G.J. Kinney right now at quarterback.
His job right now is to hand it off, and he does to Tucker. He's been running well here in this fourth quarter. He gets a pickup of 12 yards on first down.
Here's Michael Bamiro on the outside. Did a good job of turning out the defensive end, opening up that hole. Got tremendous size from Bamiro.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
6'8", 340.
Well, I mean, that's a good start, right? You can't coach that. Played his football at Stony Brook, so, a lower division. And you've got Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach. Trey Thomas, the former Eagle, working with him every day. Trying to hone some technique now.
Like you said, you can't teach 6'8", 340.
False start. Offense, number 47. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
There's Trey Thomas. The studious Trey Thomas with the glasses on, but he's been a big help here. Big help. And Trey Thomas might be in better shape now than he ever was when he played here. And he was a great left tackle for over a decade. And there's Jason Peters. We hope to see him next Saturday night in Jacksonville.
We might have seen him right now if this were a regular season game.
I know Chip Kelly can't wait to get him on the field and watch him go to work.
Right through the middle, and once again, Tucker with lots of room to run. Carolina's going to call for the timeout now with 2:49 to go as Ryan Rao, who you may remember from last year with the Eagles, made the tackle.
Ryan Rao had a good preseason with the Eagles a year ago. You never know, when you're going to get a chance to stick on a football team, where it might come. And all these guys right now, I mean, nobody's really giving these guys much of a chance. They're on the field with under 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But you know what? Every one of these guys has a chance in this league. It may not be here, maybe someplace else.
Well, and again, you take a look at what ends up happening there. With a practice squad being what it is, and that's exactly what happened with Rao last year. He was on the practice squad for the first 12 games and then was active for the last 4. There are guys that are playing for a spot not as a starter, but on a roster somewhere.
Yeah, if you could stick on a roster, just stick on the practice squad to start with as a young player. Keep learning. Plenty of guys have worked their way up from practice squads into the Pro Bowl. Gary Williams was a practice squad player in Tennessee, on and off the roster for years.
So the second timeout taken by Carolina, so a third down coming up with 2:45 to go. You take a look in. G.J. Kinney is getting these snaps here right now, but how many snaps in terms of what each quarterback has gotten tonight? Very even distribution for the top 3.
I think that's kind of the way Chip Kelly saw it tonight. We're going to try to keep it even there amongst Nick and Mike to make it a good evaluation between the two. We wanted Barkley to keep getting work. And I think the fact that he plays 5 quarterbacks in preseason kind of says something that Chip Kelly feels pretty confident coaching that position in this system.
Carolina cannot stop the clock again. With 2:45 to go, a 3rd down and 7. And Kinney keeping it himself. First down yardage. He gets it down to the 23-yard line. He got so close to leading a touchdown drive last week, and Bamiro made the block for him and helped free him around that right side.
Well, you know, this mesh point right here between the back and Kinney, really that end has no idea who has the ball right now. So that's good execution. Then he pulls it around the corner, and that's one way that teams are going to try to stop this read option in this league, is shooting that corner in to get him involved in the run game. That block on the outside this year around the league by the wide receiver versus the corner is going to be paramount whether you have success in that play or not.
All G.J. Kinney is doing is smiling this preseason, and he's bringing out a smile in his head coach again. We've reached the 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia. For more than 18 years, Eagles Youth Partnership and the Philadelphia Eagles have served the children of our community. Our signature programs and annual Eagles Playground Bill provides kids in need with vital vision care, literacy programming, and safe spaces in which to learn, grow, and play. All year long, Eagles Youth Partnership and our partners are improving the lives of kids who deserve nothing less. Proud of our team, proud of our city, proud of our kids, and grateful to our partners. We are Eagles Youth Partnership. Thanks for being a part of our team. And the chairman and CEO of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, his 20th season in that spot here in Philadelphia. Not only proud of the work his team has done on the field, but proud of the work that this organization has done outside of this stadium.
Hey, look, he's become a very respected owner in this league and involved in a lot of different committees. 20 years in any business gives you, you earned your stripes. Done a lot here at NovaCare facility, second to none in this league. Improvements in the stadium coming over the next 2 years, $175 million of it. Saw Forbes just ranked the Eagles pretty high. I'd say that Jeffrey Lurie's made a little bit of money on this team here.
It's all about winning now.
Yeah. Now they're going to take a knee here, and that's the smart thing to do. It's about winning games, right? It's not about getting more reps. And they can run this clock out here, taking a knee 3 times.
That's exactly what they're going to do. So, barring some sort of colossal change, this will be a W here in the preseason. And once again, last week I asked you late, what did we learn? What did we learn tonight?
I think we learned that with LeSean McCoy in this offense, it's pretty dynamic. That we've got 2 quarterbacks here that can move the team, but maybe Mike Vick has kind of jumped out here a little bit. I don't want to make any false announcements, but Mike Vick was very sharp 2 weeks in a row. I think he really thinks he's a good fit for what they're teaching and what they're implementing here.
And the second knee as time winds down. Next weekend we will be in Jacksonville, steamy, warm Jacksonville on Saturday night for our next broadcast here on the Eagles Television Network, and then the preseason wraps up the Turnpike at the Meadowlands against the New York Jets on Thursday, August 29th.
Well, technically this will go in the books as the first win for Chip Kelly in a new era, albeit preseason. But you could see there was some improvement tonight. Defensively, they were much better. They held the Panthers to 3 field goals. I know that he's going to have an issue with the turnovers, and they'll work on that this week, making sure like those kind of things don't happen again.
Now the run of a winner in a preseason game, and again, as you say, a lot to work on.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they're still in preseason mode. There's still a lot to improve on before, but it's all about gearing up for the opening Monday night game, September 9th down in Washington. This gives a big hug to Kenyon Barner there.
Shady McCoy, his first action in the preseason, looked awfully good out there tonight. Looked very much in mid-season form.
He did. Yeah, I mean, we saw him literally break some defensive players' ankles with some of the cuts that he had. The vision was there. Catching the ball out of the backfield as a safety valve as Mike Vick and Cam Newton meet up, 2 former first picks in the NFL draft, separated by about 10 years.
I guess in a lot of ways, there hadn't been a Mike Vick before him, then Cam Newton would not have had the opportunity that he had.
Look at the size. I mean, Cam Newton looks like a defensive end next to everybody else out there. But that's the new breed. I mean, that's what's coming into the league. And Mike Vick followed a guy like Randall Cunningham coming into this league, and Cam Newton has followed, and now there's RG3 and Russell Wilson. And so we're going to keep seeing if one of these quarterbacks that has great athletic ability out of the pocket